We're gonna whoa, we just pressed record in the middle of
Craziness.
one up. Um, so we are back to essential habits for software developers, boosting productivity and career growth. Wow, there are moments where I look at these things and I'm like, wow, that is such a, let me see, I'm going to say, ask ChatGPT. Let's see now, provide topics and focus for this title. Essential habits for software developers, boosting productivity and career. Our titles are such AI stuff, it feels like. That's actually, I think at the end of this would be a really fun episode, would be to wrap this up, even maybe before the season, because there's a lot of cool stuff we've gotten out of this season as well. I'm sorry, hello for everybody. I was rude and not saying hi to those of you guys that have joined us. I think it'd be really cool to have an episode. One is, I think, just an episode talking about the impact that AI had on all of our topics is going to be awesome. But also, I think an episode, which I think we've talked about this before, but like go back to recognizing AI, because I think that's actually very important. I almost offended a person that we're not going to name, but what happens to be my project manager, because I said there's an email that she drafted, and I was like, I asked, did you use AI? She said no, and I said, well, that's actually pretty cool because I said there's there is wording and there's things that felt AI, but the rhythm did not feel AI. So I think there's some things that we can learn, and I think is very useful to us as developers, not only in general, but also with the code to figure out when we're looking at AI generated code. And there are definitely some telltale marks, and you probably know as well because you've seen some AI generated code. You've used AI generated code, I bet, and there's like you get once you do it, you realize that okay, this is what it looks like. So it's very useful to know that. It's always good to have that context. Sorry, everybody, if I went a little bit off
No,
field,
but that'd be a good topic to definitely have because I do use AI a lot. Um, More for testing though, because well, testing and refactoring, because sometimes your code gets nasty and it's like, well, how can I clean this up? And you can go too far, you can kind of go in between. And AI is a nasty little if you don't play with AI enough and you just say, hey, AI, go build me code or go write me this, you're going to get crap. Be careful. Basically, buyer beware. Don't just assume it works out of the box. You need to literally understand what the hell you're doing. So, if you want to play with AI, start playing with AI now, but don't really start pushing it into your development environments for at least 3 months or even 6 months.
I will say, um, use one of the training. There's a bunch of training sites out there that use AI. What's the one I use? Just because they're fun. I'm gonna go look at them. Um, code Signal, codesignal.com. Uh, then there's a Codacy, CODACY.com, I think is another one. Um, they use AI to generate training material, basically. Um, use them, use them and use AI to answer the questions. Use like go, I highly recommend download the Chat GPT client. God, this is so much bonus information. So sorry for everybody, but
They limit the after bonus, but
yeah, it's pre-bonus. Download the Chat GPT like desktop client. It's a little bit faster, a little bit better. Use it for a while. The other thing that I have found very, very useful, go out, you can even use AI to do it. Build a chatbot, build an AI chatbot, and specifically work with they call it's basically it's like the context or the settings. Let me see, do they have an actual? I'm maybe getting the name wrong, so let me go look real
oh, as
quick.
he's looking, I'm going to age myself. This is very similar to the old Dragon Age for speaking, uh, speech to text. Same idea. You have to train what you're using to understand what you want. Otherwise, you might get something that looks right, but is wrong.
Okay, it's called the system prompts. Why did I forget that? Because I've had a couple to drink. Um, Understand how prompts work, what is useful, what is not, what is retained, and what is not. Um, it is very much like the old Google foo, the ability to, and I've mastered Google foo. I ask Google stuff all the time. That's why I didn't use AI for the longest time, because I could ask Google all kinds of crap. I knew how to like leverage all of its search engine stuff. AI is not much different. Now, each AI engine is a little bit different. Know which, like, pick one, master it, understand its the kind of answers it's going to give you and how to tell it to give you better answers. And that is going to be invaluable to your career moving forward. I guarantee you. Everybody wants to do AI. I went to a startup meetup a week or two ago. I was like a dozen companies, like founders, entrepreneurs that are starting new companies. 11 out of the 12 had AI as part of it. And every one of them it was AI that made a lot of sense. It's like, of course I'm going to use AI to do that because it makes it better. Spend some time in doing this. Wow, this is such bonus material. I almost feel like we should have another episode on it, but please do so. I think building a chat bot and give it a why. Don't just build a chat bot to like do tech support or something like that. Build a chat bot. I will go ahead because I probably had too much drink. Probably shouldn't share all this. I built a chat bot that was effectively a scraper of sorts that is going out and using public information to go find information about companies because I need contact information for those that are in the C-suite of these companies. I built this chatbot. Now, it's very valuable to learn what it will provide you and what it won't. Because AI will provide you answers that are actually BS. For example, I got back LinkedIn links for contact information for these people. They are not valid links because AI will not go search the web, or at least ChatGPT will not go search the web. And I was using the AI API, too many A's and I's in there. But I think it is very educational. This is a great building better developers things for you to do. You can build a chatbot in probably an hour or less and then go play with it.
Mhm.
That is where you become a better developer. All right, bonus material done. I already spit that out into there? I want to make sure I did.
Okay,
Essential
sorry.
habits for software developers, boosting
So
productivity.
before
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna throw my last because we'll skip the bonus at the end. We'll just do all the bonus.
That doesn't mean quit before we get to the end. There may still be bonus. I'm
That's
just saying.
true. We always seem to do whatever we want.
Mm.
With what Rob mentioned, look at free tools like AWS EC2 instances. There's a lot of cool things out there, a lot of free things out there for you to play with cloud-based instances where you can set these up and build these chatbots live so you could actually do more things online, bigger, better, however you want to do them. Just don't necessarily limit yourself if you're strapped for money to what you have, because if you have a very old machine, look at grabbing an EC2 instance and throwing it out there and play with that. That was the only thing I wanted to throw out there because some people do have that. I've talked to a couple of people. It's like, well, I don't have the money, so I can't play with AI. Yes, you can. There's a lot of free tools out there. You just have to tap into them.
I will give you a pro tip. If you're using, I'm sure, um, uh, wow, I've got a lot of thoughts on that. All of the major cloud providers do have all kinds of programs for nonprofits, startups, developers. There's a whole kind of stuff. So, whatever your situation is, feel free to spend a little bit of time searching for programs, discounts, price, all kind pricing strategies, stuff like that, based on whatever your business is. You may find something that's really useful. The other thing is AWS in particular. I love AWS. Okay, yeah, I love AWS. Sorry, you guys may know because I did a whole season on their services. I've been very happy with it. We use it for a long time. They have reserved instances. Whatever server you think you need or that you need, you can get a reserved instance and it cuts the cost by like 50% or more. It doesn't, yes, you're committing to paying for it for like a year or something like that. But if you're a developer, it's not a bad thing. If you'd like more information, shoot me just hit me up at info at developaneur.com. I would love to like point you to some stuff, give you some information I found, customers I've dealt with over the years, because we do help people like reduce costs and things like that. And there are very good cost-effective programs out there. There's always the free tier. Amazon has it. GCP has. I think it's like, I don't know what it's up to now. I think it's like $300 of just like a bucket of free credits when you first start. So there are options out there depending on which one you want to learn how to use. Honestly, I love AWS, but that doesn't mean that I like Azure is really awesome as well. GCP, I don't know you so well, but that's okay. What I've dealt with it, GCP is really cool as well. Whatever is your, whatever is your druthers, as they say, go do it. You can probably find a low enough cost solution that unless you're like scrambling to actually put food on your table I mean, I've done this with a 10, 50, $100 a month budget. I don't know where you're at, but you can find things to do that. All right. Enough of that. Do you have one more?
No.
Good, because I wasn't going to let you talk anyways.
Raspberry Pi.
All right. This is what happens when we were on our second episode and we have, all right. What are you drinking?
Bourbon and Coke.
What's your bourbon?
Jim Beam. Jim Beam Black.
Okay, so Jim Beam, if you ever want to help us out, we're out here. A little sponsorship wouldn't hurt. If I can get,
Nope,
it doesn't want to like grab my bottle.
Put it closer in front of you. Maybe if you put it in front of you.
And maybe that's what it is. It's like,
there you go. Yeah,
Uncle Nearest, my favorite. Nearest Green, Uncle Nearest Rye is what I am drinking right now, and obviously it's towards the end of a bottle, but that's how that works. That's not going to help. Oh no, it has to have a backing. I'm just doing that straight. There you go. There we go. Jim Beam, Uncle Nearest. If you'd like to sponsor a podcast, we are here. Actually, it's not even a podcast at this point. A YouTube channel. We would be happy to do so. Building better developers with alcohol. Hey, I'm sorry. If you're under 21, please don't drink.
All right. I have to make this one not child friendly.
We have to work on that. We've used language that we shouldn't use as well. Things like code, testing, bugs. All right. I'm sorry. Anyways, back to the episode with a 3, a 2, and a 1. Hello and welcome back. We are here building better developers with AI. We are spending this season taking a prior season and we are basically pushing our prior episode topics through AI and seeing what comes out. So far, it's been really good. I don't want to spoil what's coming ahead. So first, I will introduce myself. My name is Rob Broadhead. Happen to be one of the founders of Developaneur, Building Better Developers. I am also a founder of RB Consulting, where we help you wrangle technology. If you have that technology sprawl that everybody is like starting to get used to, you have that technology junk drawer that needs to be cleaned up, We sit down with you, we talk about your business, not your technology, but your business. What is it that you are trying to do? What is your why? What is your secret sauce? We craft a special recipe just for you. Take that technology and the technology that's out there, because sometimes you don't even know what's available, but we do because we've spent decades, over three, even though we're so young, over 3 decades in technology, learning how it works, learning what's out there, learning what works for our customers, whether they're big or small. And then we help you craft a roadmap going forward. We can hand that off to you and you guys can go forward, or we can help you implement it, whether it's building a team, adding technology, RFPs, you name it. We start with that technology assessment and then we go from there based on what you are served best by. Good thing, bad thing for this week. Good thing is sunshine. I love sunshine. I left the north of the US, Chicago. I'm not going to name names, but I just did, because it's too cold and too dark for like 8 months out of the year. And I came to a sunnier part of the world. Love it. Great. I feel better. I'm getting my vitamin C, D, whatever, all E, F, Z, all of those. Yes, I'm not a biology major, but getting all that good stuff out of the sunshine, it makes me happy, brings me joy. The bad thing is, it is freaking hot out there. And I'm one of these people that if you put me in a room that's hot, like 75 or 76 degrees, I will sweat. You put me in 90 to 95 degrees in like, and a 99% humidity, it drives me nuts. I am like dripping water. And that is the bad thing right now. But you know what? I will take it because it is actually pretty nice. Also, what I will take because he drives me nuts, but he's not that bad a guy, is Michael. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Michael Meloche. I'm one of the co-founders of Developreneur, Building Better Developers. I'm also the founder of Envision QA, where if you're a passionate entrepreneur or business looking for help with software solutions, we recognize your desire for a reliable, high-performing solution that sets you apart from the competitors. We offer tailored software and quality assurance solutions to optimize the performance and reliability of your e-commerce platform, pitch a flawless user experience, increase sales, and a competitive edge in the market. Now, it's hard going after Rob because a lot of times I just want to say ditto. But anyway, good and bad. Good and bad this week. The good, a couple weeks ago, there was a lot of good previews online for upcoming software releases, video games, things of that nature. Bad, I have no time to play any of them. It's like there's so many cool things coming out. It's like, oh, I want to play that. I want to play that. I want to play that. I want to play it. I'm like, I don't have time. What the hell am I thinking? So it's like, okay, which one of the three and when are they coming out? It's like, cool. This year, my wife might actually have a chance to buy me a Christmas present because I will not have a chance to buy it for myself before the end of the year. Unless it happens to be a Switch 2, if I can happen to find one between now and then, because I doubt she will. Back to you.
Yes, Switch 2. I'll geek out for a second. Switch 2 is on my list. I'm going to get one for my wife first because she has 0 switches, which is probably why she's such a sad individual. If she had just one, she would be a happier person. But I'm going to go ahead. As soon as I can get her one, yes, smack upside the head. Try to get her one if I can. She's choking me now.
Might said right there, don't buy used.
Oh, definitely.
Nintendo apparently has bricked those, so be careful with that.
Yeah, they've taken a very, that's a whole nother topic, a whole nother world. Maybe we'll talk about that like in Thanksgiving or Christmas episodes. Um, Nintendo took a really interesting stance on the Switch 2 release, which has been very interesting. Anyways, would love to get one for my wife first. I am just waiting for, I know I'm probably the only person that does this, but Oblivion, the like new release on the Steam Deck, is still driving me nuts sometimes. It crashes sometimes. Like as soon as I do a quick travel to somewhere, it's like, no, you're not going to do that. And the heat that pours off of that is phenomenal. Okay, geek mode off. Let's get back to our topic for this episode because We need to actually get back to building better developers and not gamers. Okay, so this episode, I asked them, what about essential habits for software developers boosting productivity and career growth? And of course, because GPT loves me, ChatGPT said, great choice for your developer podcast. And this is what it gave me. Okay, first, it actually gave me a core message. I don't think I've had this one before. Core message: success as a developer isn't just about what you know, it's about what you consistently do. The right habits compound over time into productivity, expertise, and opportunities. Oh my gosh, that is so much the message that we have built for almost a decade now.
All right.
The
So
momentum of, I'm
finish.
gonna shush. I want to finish. I'm gonna finish my thought and then I'm gonna throw it to you. So see, I told you we're like an old married couple. We talk about momentum. We talk about the like just do a little bit every day. That message is so much about consistently doing every day. And now I'm going to pass it to my partner who apparently has something to say
I
about
was going to have you reiterate that a little bit slower so that everyone could hear you because you went through that very quickly.
it. Wow. My wife just said, okay, I'm just kidding. Success. I'm going to go very slow because this is really important. Success as a developer isn't just about what you know. It's about what you consistently do. The right habits compound over time into productivity, expertise, and opportunities. This is the core of the Developreneur book. It is about you will stay every day in your job, learning stuff, making progress. You don't have to spend hours and hours and hours. Just a little bit every day moves you forward. And eventually, that journey of 1,000 miles, when you do it a step at a time, you eventually get there.
All right. Now I'll tack on to that. So, building better habits, the core of this. If you do something for more than 10 days repetitively, it becomes a habit. If you do, well, all right, you're shaking your head no. But I find that if you force yourself to do a task daily for at least 10 days, almost a week and a half, it generally you'll pick it up and it becomes a habit. There's good and bad to that. You can pick up bad habits during that. While you're trying to do a good habit, you could pick up a bad habit. So habits are habitual, like by the nature of habit. But one of the things that I'm very conscious of, and I've talked about this a lot, is make sure you make lists. Write down what it is you want to do in a day, get it done. If you're not getting it done, you have a bad habit. You have a habit of saying, I'm going to do this and not do it. The question is, why? You need to ask yourself, why are you not doing it? Are you not doing it because what you're writing on your little notepad, your little sheet here, is not what's important? Are you putting are you putting busy tasks ahead of important tasks? And that is the key distinction here. Make sure that what you're working on, what habits you want to build, are focused on the things that keep the dial moving, that are really what it is you need to accomplish, not what you need to do to make it look like you're being busy and you're accomplishing things.
All right. So first off, for those of you that are watching the YouTube channel, you saw me going, no, it's not 10 days. It's actually, I've heard it's 21 days. And then I've heard speakers that are habit experts that say it's actually more than that. The key is, and I can't remember who told me this or didn't tell me this specifically, but I heard a speaker that they said the key is not that you miss a day, it's that you don't miss 2 days in a row. And I want to say it's the Atomic Habits guy. I'm not sure who it is, but that's the key, is to build momentum. If you miss a day, it's not going to kill you. if you miss 2 days in a row, you will lose momentum. That is the key. I'm going to jump ahead to a couple, but I do want to come back to this because I think this is so important. So the first thing it suggested, we didn't even get to the first topic, was daily coding discipline. Habit. Write or review code every day, even for 30 minutes. Why it matters. Keeps skills sharp, builds muscle memory, reduces mental cold starts. How to do it. Mini challenges, open source contributions, or small side project sprints. Pro tip, track coding streaks or use a developer journal to stay consistent. This is so much. I will give you a second. This is so much what we preach. This is why we do the 15 minutes of learning and stuff like that we do. This is something that has been such an incredible benefit to me. In particular, as a developer, I'm going to throw this out and I'm going to let Michael actually talk because I've been cutting him off for so long. This is so important to do with the technologies that you're not actually working on. So if you are sitting in a Java developer job, but you want to keep your Python skills sharp, have a side project that is Python development. Or likewise, if you are in a C# job and you don't want to lose your Java, your C# will be kept sharp, for no pun intended, through your day job. But you need to make sure that you're still keeping current. And it's not even current, but just not letting rust build on the Java side of it. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it right to you.
All right. Plain and simple. You're a developer. There are code repositories. At the end of the day, whatever you're working on, you need to commit to your code repository. Take 5 minutes, go look at GitHub, whatever, create a temporary PR. I don't care. Go look and see what you did for the day in your code, and does it make sense? If it doesn't make sense, two things need to happen. One, you need to quickly fix it, or two, you need to document your code quickly so that when you push it back up, you know what you did. Because if you're looking at that PR or that code review and you immediately cannot understand what the hell you did, you have a problem. And that is the first thing that jumped in my mind when you brought this up. So I was like, I kind of wanted to jump the gun.
That is a mega bonus because that actually is not in our book. That is a very useful tip to have. If you don't review, I don't know that we've ever talked about reviewing your own code. This is something we have recently. I have never used SonarQube before with GitHub. I've used it with here and there, and I've used other static code analysis tools like that. But to use it in a regular basis has actually been a very informative process for me because every time I do a commit and a push, it barks at me about whatever it likes or dislikes. And that forces me to go back and actually review my own code more often than I would like to admit. That is an incredibly useful habit to get into, is commit your code, even if it's your own little repository and side hustle, PR yourself, and then code review your own code. Just that extra set of eyes when it's your own stinking eyes will help immensely. It is amazing what you will catch in those kinds of things, particularly, and this is why I love so much the static code analysis tools that are out there, all the way back to some of the very high-end tools that are out there. And I forget the names off the top of my head. They're very expensive, but they're very useful because they will give you feedback that is exactly what you need as a developer, because we get into our little silos. We have our way to solve problems. We have our way to write code. We have all of our preferences built out into our IDE. If you're Python, use the Pepe. I get choked up. I'm so emotional about this. Use Pepe. In Java, go out and use the various Java sites that are out there. PHP has got its own version. I wish I could think of all of these that are out there. I'm missing them right now. Go to the standards. How is the most current version being that's out there, that's being used, that's being developed? How is that being written? What are the styles that are out there? And this includes like naming standards and stuff like that. Go look at those because they will make you a better developer.
All
I'm
right.
going to move on.
We have time for
Oh,
one
wait,
more
I'm not
topic.
going to move on because Michael has something to say.
I think we have time for one more topic.
We do.
All right, what's the next bullet point?
Okay. Yes, we've gone too far. Effective time management. This is so. And Michael doesn't know. I'm just going to let you know. He did not know that that is the next bullet point. Effective time management. Habit. Use time blocks or Pomodoro. Oh, I love this. To avoid burnout and context switching. Tools. Calendar blocking. Toggle. TOGGL. Notion or Visual Studio Code timers. Side hustle angle, maximize limited hours, protect your maker time. Discussion prompt, when are you most productive and how do you defend that time? I am going to use this before I toss it back to Michael to say that I have adjusted. If you go back to last season, you will hear how much I loved the Pomodoro stuff. It was because of the place I was in work wise at that moment, but I use a very different Pomodoro technique. I use a focus app, which I am going to look up right now, called Brain FM, Brain.fm. There's other ones like that. It's got a lot of different settings essentially, but it is music it is sound and music that is intended on like enhancing certain mental aspects. I use that on a regular basis as my Pomodoro, basically. And I have grown, I use a 1 hour, 60-minute Pomodoro on a regular basis. And it has been very, very effective. But now I own my time more than I did before. Before, the 25 minutes is what I needed because I needed to actually do like a little bit of everything. I have uh I have less chunks right now, and so it works very well to do a 1 hour. I am literally exhausted in a mental sense by the time I'm done with the 1 hour, and I get so much accomplished. So I'm sorry that I keep singing the praises of that technique, but it really is. If you can sit down and focus for a set number of minutes, I don't care if it's 25, 45, 60, 90, whatever your focus is, you will be amazed at how productive you will get. Now, I'm going to pass it on to somebody that has always struggled with saying that word, but that's okay. He's going to work on his Italian. Go for it, Michael.
All right. I'm not even going to say it.
That is a safe approach.
um, my biggest problem with this is in a lot of companies I've worked for, or in a lot of situations, they do not foster the culture or the environment for you to thrive in the Pomodoro technique to actually do what Rob is suggesting, which is why I've gone with the lists approach, where I write down what I need to get done in the day and I try to stick to it. Project management tools are great for this, Jira and Trello, things like that. But the problem you run into with those is still you get scope creep. You need to commit to something, say, I'm going to get this done. If you don't get it done, make a note as to why. Was it because you ran into scope creep? Was it because, oh, this problem you're trying to solve is bigger than it is? This is a big problem in software development. If you work on a ticket and you pointed it as a team as a one because it looked simple, but you get into it and it starts blowing up, you need to bring that to everyone's attention. So the next stand up you have, comment the ticket, say, hey, I've uncovered this, document what you found, and then bring it up. Do not try to bring it up without documenting it, because if you sleep on it, you're going to forget about it. And the next year you're going to be like, I have no idea. Just be clear and concise and document. Keep in mind that cover your ass CYA approach to everything. even if you're on the Pomodoro technique, make sure that what you're working on is what you're working on. And if it starts bloating or expanding, bring that up immediately. That means that what you're focused on is not focused enough, and you may need some additional direction to make sure you get to where you need to be to get it completed.
Gosh, that is it is rare that I say that, but that is really in an incredible. No, I'm kidding. That is an incredible point to make. Part of what I find so much valuable with the Pomodoro technique, and I will note that Michael said it correctly, didn't stumble over it, and he's been drinking. Um, if you're on the podcast, no, he hasn't. Um, go check the YouTube channel. Um, it is very useful to have that Pomodoro because it really does time box stuff. And I think that is what, as I have expanded the Pomodoro length that I use, it has been really helpful with me in helping me understand even more my estimates for work. Because honestly, most of what I do, I think I can cover in a 1 hour Pomodoro. If I get to the end of it, whatever my point is, basically, well, my points, this is like a little secret behind the thing. My points when I'm doing Scrum pointing and stuff like that, it's basically the number of Pomodoros it's going to take me to get that thing done. And if I take like if I point it as one and it takes me more than one Pomodoro to get it done, then I note that. And Michael has really nailed what we need to do as developers. Whether you do it, however you do it, you need to document. You need to know where you misestimated it. It's not necessarily where it was misestimated by somebody else because you can only control what you estimate and what your abilities are. But this is what will help you become a better estimator. If you understand that this took longer than I expected, and of course, with your team, if it impacts them, you need to let them know. Say, hey, this took longer than I expected. Like, throw that out there. That helps you, that helps the team. There are so many levels of value that that brings to you. Now, I'm going to move on because I want to at least jump into one other, and I have no idea how long we've gone because I apologize. I didn't look at the time before we started this one. We are too long, but I'm going to jump into this real quick, and then I'm going to wrap this one up. Continuous learning. I love this. Even before I read it. Habit, read or watch something technical weekly, book, document, blog, YouTube, or podcast. Hey, hey. Growth edge, stay current with frameworks, languages, and soft skills. My gosh, this is the bulk of what our book is. Career boost, learning equals leverage. It's how you move from junior to lead. The best way to move from junior to lead is to read our freaking book and to listen to our podcast on a regular basis because this is what we live and we are there with you. I will throw out, hey, Brain FM, if you need a sponsorship, give us a call. We would love to talk to you. Love your app. Would love to like boost you guys on a regular basis. As always, shoot us an email at info@developreneur.com. I will even offer you right now. You shoot me an email in, it is the end of June. You send me an email by the end of July, me being info@developreneur.com. I will send you a copy of our book, gratis, free. All of those other words, libre. I don't even know if that's actually the word that I'm trying to think of, but we will give it to you free. We'll shoot you one. Just give us your email address, or actually your physical mailing address, or your email address. We'll shoot you the digital copy. I would love to offer that for now because it has really got a lot of the stuff that we've talked about. I think is very valuable, particularly if you're trying to figure out how do you map out your career. Maybe you've topped out, maybe you plateaued, maybe you're struggling to figure out where you go from here. It is actually a very useful book. If you don't think so, I would love to get that feedback because we'll do a version 2 and we will do a better version of it. As always, we have Facebook, we have developernoor.com, developernoor Facebook page, developernoor.com. If you want to leave us feedback, at developernoor on X, used to be Twitter. I think we finally gotten so we can just call it X. Thank you, Elon Musk, for that to get a year later or whatever it is. Also, developernoor.com, we have a contact us form. Every single article, every podcast, there's ways to leave us feedback. We will get it. We would love to hear it. We would love to make this better because we are also building a better podcast for you, not for ourselves. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. As always, go out there and have yourself a great day, a great week, and we will talk to you next time. Bonus material.
You'll watch the pre-show because there was a whole lot before the show. Just one last thing. Check out the website. Check out our podcast. Check out YouTube. If you're watching us, great. Seriously, thank you for being a follower of us. Like, share, repeat, and give us your feedback. Have a great day.
I will say, as bonus material, this is like behind the scenes. Apparently, there is behind the scenes I guess it's a Slack message.
Yes.
A Slack message of get him food. So apparently, I've had too much fun this episode. I actually don't apologize because sometimes we gotta have fun. This is like episode. Do you even know what episode this is? Is it like 8?
9. We're on 9.
No, overall, like 800, 900. What?
Yeah, give me 10 seconds. Pull that up. Pull that up. We are on episode 884.
Oh my gosh. This is 884 episodes that we have done. So for me to have a little bit of fun,
We're crazy. Yeah.
is okay. And I say that this is bonus material. I will hang my hat on. If you have not gone through the interview season, like it's like now about 3 or 4 seasons back, it's like 20, 21, something like that. It was 90 something episodes. It was a lot of episodes. The first couple of interviews were okay. But by the time we got even in like the 5th to 10th episode, there are some of the most fascinating people I have ever met that we got to interview. I had so much fun. I hate that I stopped recording so many times before the end of like the conversation. I had great conversations. Greg, and I wish I could think of his name, that was a piano player that was worried about losing his voice. I hope it's Greg. Incredible conversation there. The guy that worked with the Blue Man Group that is out with working with Google right now. Awesome, incredible conversations.
Now,
And those are just pieces of it.
well, I was going to say, and if a lot of these podcasts aren't still out there because some of the platforms cut them off after a certain level of episodes, let us know. We have a lot of these archived. Not necessarily all of them. We have most of them. So if you want to follow up on an old episode, let us know. We'll send it to you.
We will do that. And also, I think the developernoor.com site, I think, has every single episode in some way, form, or fashion. We'll find out, because if you find one that is not pointing to an episode, let us know, because we will go like connect, we'll correct that link and things like that. Obviously 800 plus episodes in, the first 100 so episodes may not be as good. This is speaking as the guy that created, like directed, director, producer, all of that, edited. Yes, it's gotten better. I go back to the interview episodes, to me, still the pinnacle of some of what we did. No offense to Michael. We've actually had some really good, the last couple of seasons have had a lot of really good episodes, a lot of really good content. But the stuff we got in the interviews, that is top notch. I cannot even, say enough good stuff about it.
But
So that's your bonus.
I mean, we're still going to do interviews. Don't Don't throw that out. I mean,
It may be with you. You right there. You might be the next one we interview. Yes, we still have those on there. It may even be her back there that's in the like, back in the the crowd that's yelling, "Hey!" Um, the peanut gallery is full of people that want to be part of our interview guests. Um, I I will be honest to all you guys because you guys are our, mi familia. You guys are like right there, mi gente. Um, I love doing interviews. If you want to do an interview and you're not the most boring person in the world, and yes, I have interviewed like two or three of those people, but for the most part, I think I literally have one interview that never actually went to production. It was that bad. But that being said, I would love to talk to you, and I have confidence that we will make an interesting conversation out of that. I would love to talk to you. Shoot us as always, shoot us an email, info@developreneur.com. Let us know. We would love to talk to you. Michael and I have not done the dual host interview thing. It is on our list of things to do. I have people that I want to talk to. He has people he wants to talk to. At some point, we'll do this. If it interrupts the AI season, I apologize so much. That being said, I apparently have had more to drink and not enough to eat right now. And that's that behind the scenes stuff you get as part of the YouTube. Michael's doing the cut. We'll fix it. We'll fix it in editing. You guys have had more bonus than you wanted at this point. Thank you always. I really do appreciate you. What was it? 892?
we're 800 plus. I mean, we're well 884.
884 is a lot of episodes. I will
Close to
say
900.
one of my favorites, Gary Vaynerchuk, did 1,000 and he quit. And I almost cried during that last week of Wine Library TV when he got to the 1,000 part because we knew the crowd knew it was coming. I don't know that we're going to do that at 1,000, but hundreds is a lot. And you guys are there. I'm sure there's at least one of you. There's probably only one of you that's been here from the start, and that's actually me. But hey, um, thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate what you've invested in us. We would love to invest back in you. Let us know any way that we can do so, that we can help you out, or that we can improve our content. We're always looking for ways as well. Always looking for ways to build a better podcast as well as building better developers ourselves and use. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Have a great week, and we will talk to you next time.
Excellent.